Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's weekly roundup for Eve Echoes for the week ending the 1st of July 2023. So, if you're unfamiliar with this format, this is where I round up all of the relevant news for the week just to help you keep up on top of what's going on in the game at the moment, because there can be a lot of things going on, a lot of different news sources to follow. You don't know what to pay attention to and what not to. So that's the purpose of these videos. And first and foremost, the most important item of the day, which you'll see up on screen at the moment, is the Super Capital Content Creator Clash. This is going to be streamed on the official Discord tomorrow at 1900 UTC. That's Sunday the 2nd of July. Of course, it's got a number of different content creators available, including Taylor Rick from the Echoes of New Eden podcast, who was kind enough to share this week's developer Q&A with me. We have Gengar, we have Damon Zell, and unfortunately I don't recognise the profile icons for the remainder of the content creators, but we'll find out who they are soon enough with the live stream, which I believe will be commentated upon by Taylor Rick himself. So stay tuned for it, hopefully it'll be a good entertaining show to watch. So moving on to the next topic of the day. We still have the event live in-game, the equivalent of the Interstellar Bazaar, where we all are encouraged to spend a bit of money on the game. Personally, I've not spent any money on this game myself, but what we do have to add to the event is this nice picture that's been released up on screen at the moment, for those of you that really dig your anime characters and pictures and whatnot. But yeah, not much to say about that, just new image available. Moving on. We did have a bug earlier this week. Rather interesting bug, let's say. A lot of people couldn't log in. So expect in the near future some half-decent compensation rewards for not being able to log into the game for a couple of hours. It'll be interesting to see what we actually get out of this one. Is it going to be some coolant or some other jokey reward with a little bit of SP? We might get lucky. The devs might be feeling generous. But anyway, that was this week's big bug, as it were. Big bug. We should include that as a regular segment. Moving on to the next item of the day is the Plex report. I keep on saying the next item of the day. I really should be saying the week, shouldn't I? But anyway, the Plex. Plex at this specific point in time appears to be hovering around 4.8 million per Plex. So it is starting to gradually ease its way down from the 5 billion mark. So keep an eye on it. If you're plexing up in order to support your characters, keep an eye on the Plex. It is slowly going down, but only slowly. And of course now we will be moving on to the developer Q&As for this week. So first question then. Notice how all of them have been answered by Cloud once again. There seems to be a theme. I believe it was it Cloud all last week? I don't know. Remind me in the comment section below. It's a bit late for me to backtrack now. So, question number 1. Have the team ever thought of adding wormhole space, otherwise known as Jovian space, I believe, in EVE Online, in EVE Echoes? It would add so much new content and a new way of living as well. And the answer is, thank you for your suggestion. We will have some similar new content before adding the wormhole space. Stay tuned. I believe this similar new content is most likely going to be opening up that whole new region that's been speculated upon for about 2 or 3 years. That region that in EVE Online is known as drone space, or something like that. I don't know. I'm no expert. Moving on to question number 2. I was wondering if it's planned to add more events based on anime themes. Maybe a collaboration with famous animes. That might be a bit expensive for netties. They are great and valuable on what devs are currently aiming for near to medium future. It's complete... I really hate this broken English sometimes. Can they not get somebody over there who's got fluent English to just tweak the questions so that they don't hurt my brain? Please, please. It completes the dev roadmap and it makes players feel eared on some expectations. I hate that question on so many levels. The answer, good idea. We will certainly consider such collaboration if the opportunity arises. I don't even know what half of that idea was, to be honest. But yeah, this is basically just more skins in the future. There are more anime skins in the future. That's what we have to take away from this one. I don't know if they bring along some anime that I actually enjoy, like say Digimon, because I quite enjoyed that back in the day. Give us like one of the big mega level Digimon as the anime picture instead of some girl. I'd be happy. You know, give us something cool. So moving on to question number 3. Considering that the range of many weapon systems has dramatically changed due to the new skills etc., do you plan on increasing the range at which ships can orbit in the future? Okay, so I presume we're talking about people trying to orbit at 150 kilometers or something silly. Answer: we do not have plans to do so as it would further increase the PvP advantage for long-range ships. We appreciate your inquiry and hope you continue to enjoy the game. Yeah, I can't argue with that, to be honest. I mean, the fact that there is no limit on how far away you can lock things. Yeah, I kind of understand where Cloud's coming from with this one. There is no real reason to increase the orbit range. Besides, you don't need to increase the orbit range, do you? You just double tap in space where you want to move to. At that kind of a distance, it's not going to be all that much different from orbiting anyway, is it? So let's move on to the next question, shall we? If I can... Has my keyboard just stopped working? Yeah, guys, I am definitely very professional at this, I assure you. There we go. Okay, it turns out I was zoomed in, which is what my computer does not like me to do. So, moving on to the next question. There is growing frustration among players who feel Echoes is pushing capital ships and PvE and PvP activity at the expense of lighter ship classes and industry. Is fair effort being made to incentivise players into lighter ships and non-PvP activities? Answer: we understand that some players, wow, my English can be a bit messed up at times, I guess, when I'm speaking. We understand that some players may feel left out, and we apologise for any frustration this may have caused. We are looking on incentivising lighter ship players and are considering adding gameplays and restricts tonnages. That restricts tonnages. My dyslexia is kicking in, by the way, guys, if you hadn't already noticed. So yeah, this is nice to see. They've picked out a question and answered it with, we are planning sometime in the future on adding more content for you smaller ship pilots. That is much appreciated. Moving on to the 5th and final question. Question to the dev team. Does it ever come up in your discussions that it would be a good idea to make the corporation missions available to alpha players? Most of the players in our corp are actually new players who sometimes struggle. It would be a great way to keep new players interested in the game if they had more things to do. Also, it would give them a way to help out as corporation members. This is a great way to engage folks who tend to get bored before they have a chance to learn the ropes in Eve Echoes. The answer is, thank you for your feedback. At the current time, corporation missions will not be accessible for alpha players. However, after we optimise the new player reward system, more content will be available to them. Stay tuned for updates. Now, there is one thing that is worth adding to this that Cloud did not mention, which is rather surprising, is if you have new players who are unable to fund themselves into an Omega clone, even just a basic Omega, you as the corporation leader have the power to give them Omega for as long as you seem it appropriate. So if you've got a new player in and they're feeling rather restricted by Omega, you might decide to do a sponsoring scheme. Ask a couple of players in your corporation, do you want to sponsor this guy and help support this person pay for their Omega? If they say yes, you then give that player a corporation Omega and take donations accordingly to fund that player's Corp Omega. From there, they'll be able to access pretty much everything they need to be able to access. And when the sponsors are satisfied that this player is in a position whereby they can, if they put the effort in, actually support their own basic clone, they then withdraw the sponsorships. It's something that, in a former corporation of mine, the Smeghead Gaming, I don't believe it's active anymore, but when I was second in command of that corporation, I did that all the time with our newer players, and it really did help them get their footing before they actually decided whether or not to commit money. So it's just worth something considering. But anyway, that's enough rambling. I do understand that is not actually a part of the question. I've just added a little bit to ramble about at the end there. That is the end of the video. Thanks again to Taylor Rick for the questions and answers. And yeah, if you want to hear more videos like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And until then, see you guys next video.